Do you ever get that feeling that someone's into you, but they just won't say it? Like deep down, your gut is screaming that she wants you, but on the surface, she's playing it cool? That's not your imagination. That's not overthinking. That's your instincts catching on to something real, something she's desperately trying to hide. But the truth always leaks out, especially through the eyes. Because no matter how much a woman tries to keep her feelings under control, her eyes don't lie. They speak when her mouth stays shut. When a woman craves you but is trying to hide it, the very first sign, the one you can't miss, if you're paying attention, is in her gaze. You'll catch her staring at you when she thinks you're not looking. It's not the casual, polite kind of glance either. It's the kind that lingers just a second too long. Her eyes will lock onto you and then suddenly dart away like she got caught. And that quick look away, that's not rejection. That's vulnerability. That's her fear of being seen, of being found out. And then there's the intensity. When she talks to you, she might try to maintain a neutral tone. She might act all business or keep things light, but her eyes are locked in. You'll feel it, that unspoken tension, that focus. It's her trying to keep control over what her body's already betrayed. And if you ever catch her pupils dilating when she's talking to you, especially in low light, that's biology, that's chemistry. That's desire unfiltered. Now here's where most guys get it wrong. They confuse friendliness with interest. But when a woman craves you secretly, her eye contact isn't casual. It's emotionally charged. She doesn't just look at you, she scans you. There's a softness in her gaze when she's near you, like she's imagining something she won't dare say out loud. Sometimes it's almost like she's looking through you, not in a cold way, but in a way that's searching for connection. Her eyes will often drop to your lips without her realizing it. It's not calculated. It's not planned. That moment her gaze flicks down and comes back up, it's her desire peeking out from behind the curtain she's drawn. She'll break the gaze, sure. She might even pretend to be uninterested, but that repeated behavior, stealing glances, looking away quickly, then doing it all over again, is a rhythm of hidden craving, a dance of subtle longing. It's like she's giving herself away in pieces, hoping you'll pick up the signals without her ever having to say a word. You have to understand something. A woman's silence doesn't always mean she's not interested. Sometimes silence is strategy. Sometimes it's fear. But the eyes are honest. They don't know how to play games. So if you really want to know what she's feeling, stop listening to her words and start paying attention to the way she looks at you when she thinks no one's watching. She's already told you everything without saying a single word. You ever been around a woman who says one thing, but something about her energy feels completely different? Like her words are calm, controlled, even indifferent, but her presence is screaming for attention? That's not your imagination either. That's her body doing all the talking she's too scared or too proud to let out. Because when a woman craves you but tries to hide it, her body language betrays her every time. You have to realize, most women won't just come out and say, "I want you." That's not how it works. She might feel it deeply, obsessively, but she'll guard it with everything she's got. What she can't control, though, are the little movements, the subtle tells, the things her body does when you're around. Her silence may be intentional, but her body, it's honest, even when she's not. Pay attention the next time you're talking to her. Is she fidgeting with her jewelry, playing with her hair, or brushing invisible lint off her clothes? Those aren't random. That's her nervous energy trying to manage the heat she feels inside. She might cross and uncross her legs, shift in her seat, or suddenly stand straighter when you walk in. That's not for nothing. That's her subconscious saying, "I need him to notice me." Watch her feet. If she's standing in a group but her feet are pointed toward you, she's mentally aligned with you, even if she's not speaking. Her body is facing what it desires, not necessarily what her mouth is engaging with. And if she leans in a little closer when you talk, hangs on to your words, laughs more freely with you than others, she's letting her guard slip, even if just a little. Then there's the mirroring. This is one of the clearest unconscious signals of connection. If you sip your drink and she does the same, if you cross your arms and she follows suit, if you lean in and so does she, even if she doesn't realize it, that's deep subconscious syncing. That's her desire trying to align with yours without ever saying a thing out loud. And let's not ignore the proximity test. A woman who secretly wants you will often close the space between you little by little. She won't jump into your arms. No, but she'll position herself just close enough to feel your presence. She'll walk beside you a little slower. She'll linger when she should have walked away. Her physical nearness is deliberate but disguised as casual. She might act like she's unbothered, but the clues are everywhere. How she tucks her hair behind her ear, how she glances at your lips mid-conversation, how she adjusts her posture when she sees you coming. These aren't conscious moves. They're reflexes. They're desire leaking through the cracks of her composure. You don't need her to say the words, you just need to read what her body's already telling you. Let me tell you something most men miss. When a woman gives you mixed signals, it doesn't always mean she's playing games. Sometimes it's something much deeper than that. It's not manipulation, it's not confusion, it's emotional defense. And if you're not paying attention, you'll misread her completely and walk away from someone who actually craves you more than you will ever know. When a woman desires you but is trying to hide it, her behavior starts to shift in patterns that can feel almost contradictory. One day she's warm, engaged, giving you her full energy. The next, she's distant, cold, barely responding. And you're left wondering, what changed? The truth? Nothing changed. She's still into you. She's just battling something inside between what she feels and what she's trying not to feel. You see, the push and pull isn't her being indecisive. It's her trying to protect her emotions. She's trying to measure how safe it is to let you in. Because if she's been hurt before, or if she fears rejection, judgment, or losing control, she'll send out signals to test how grounded you are. Are you consistent? Do you chase harder when she pulls back, or do you disappear the second she acts cold? It's a test whether she realizes it or not. That's what a lot of guys get frustrated with. They want straight answers, clear signs. But a woman who's craving you secretly is rarely going to make it obvious. She'll make herself emotionally available for short bursts, just enough to feel the closeness, then pull away just as fast, trying to regain control of the feelings that scare her. That inconsistency isn't meant to drive you crazy. It's her self-protection mechanism. She's checking, can he handle me at my most guarded, or is he only here for the easy version of me? And you'll notice it if you look closely. When she pulls back, she's not fully gone. She still lingers in your orbit. She may ignore your messages, but she watches your stories. She won't text back, but she'll be the first to laugh at your jokes in person. She keeps the connection alive, even if it's from a distance. That's not rejection, it's hesitation laced with longing. This is the space where a lot of men give up. But the ones who understand feminine energy know that behind those mixed signals is a woman who's waiting for someone strong enough to hold space for her uncertainty. Someone who can handle her complexity without needing constant validation. If you can be steady while she's figuring herself out, that's when the walls start to come down. That's when her craving stops being a secret and becomes something she can actually show you. So the next time she's giving you hot and cold, don't rush to label it as a game. Step back and observe. If she keeps coming back, even subtly, it's not confusion, it's her hidden craving, masked by fear. Ever noticed how some women just seem to show up everywhere you are? It's almost like coincidence. At first, she happens to be at the same event, walks past you randomly, a little too often, pops up in your social circles more than makes sense. But here's the thing, when a woman is craving you but hiding it, nothing about her presence is actually random. She creates opportunities to be around you while acting like it's all accidental. This is one of the most underestimated signs, because men often think attraction is supposed to be loud, big gestures, direct flirting, obvious compliments, but real desire, especially the kind she's trying to hide, is strategic and subtle. She doesn't want to look desperate. She doesn't want to risk rejection. So she crafts these coincidences where she gets to orbit close enough to feel your energy without fully exposing herself. Maybe she starts showing up in places you hang out, not directly walking up to you, but staying within range. Maybe she lingers after a group event when everyone else is gone. Maybe she suddenly seems to take an interest in something you love. Your hobbies, your gym, your favorite coffee shop. She's placing herself where you'll notice her, without forcing anything. That's craving in disguise. And it's not just about physical presence. Even online, the same pattern plays out. She might not message you directly, but she's watching your stories. She likes your posts within seconds. She comments on something small, just enough to remind you that she's still around. It's her way of saying, I see you, without saying anything too bold. That's the emotional version of being around you by chance. Here's where a lot of men get confused. They think, if she wants me, why doesn't she just say something? But most women who are emotionally invested, and especially those who've been hurt, won't lead with directness. They need to feel emotionally safe first. So instead of words, they rely on presence. They let their actions, where they choose to be, who they choose to be around, speak for them. And there's more. When she's around, she doesn't just blend into the background. She'll find small ways to engage. She'll ask subtle questions. She'll make eye contact a little longer than usual. She might touch your arm when laughing or give you a certain smile that no one else gets. It's all part of the calculated closeness she's building while pretending it's casual. But pay close attention to the frequency. If she keeps reappearing, keeps finding ways to be where you are, even when there's no real reason, she's not just being social. She's fighting her own internal battle between hiding her desire and needing to feel connected to you somehow. Every appearance, every by chance interaction is a silent confession. She doesn't need to say the words. You're already living in the spaces she chooses to show up in. Let me tell you something most men overlook. If a woman truly doesn't care about you, she won't react when you give your attention to someone else. She won't flinch. She won't shift her energy. She won't even notice. But if she does care, if she's craving you but trying hard to keep it under control, then her jealousy will slip through the crack. And she may not even realize it's happening. That's where her secret starts to show. You see, jealousy is one of the rawest emotions we have. It's nearly impossible to fake and even harder to hide when it hits. A woman who secretly wants you might be doing everything she can to appear cool, to play it chill, to act like she's unbothered. But the moment she sees another woman getting the attention she wants from you, that wall she's built starts to shake. It could be something as simple as a shift in her tone. She was laughing with you, light and playful, and then you mention another woman, even just in passing, and suddenly her smile fades just slightly. She tries to keep it together, but her energy changes. She might go quiet. She might make a sarcastic comment. She might suddenly become uninterested, distracted, or even a little cold. That's not random. That's her desire clashing with her pride. And then there's the subtle competition. Maybe she starts talking louder. Maybe she suddenly tries to grab your attention with a story or a compliment or a bold statement. Maybe she even teases you in front of others. She's not doing it to hurt you. She's doing it to pull the spotlight back on her, even if she acts like she doesn't care. That's not drama. That's longing in disguise. You'll see it in the way she watches your interactions with other women. She's not just watching casually, she's analyzing. Is this woman close to him? Does he laugh the same way with her? Does he look at her the way he looks at me? Her mind is racing even if her face stays still. That's the storm she's hiding behind her calm expression. And here's the wild part. Sometimes her jealousy will make her pull away entirely. She might ghost you, delay her replies, or act uninterested. Not because she's lost interest, but because she's hurt. Because watching you give to someone else what she wishes she could have while pretending she doesn't care is tearing her up inside. That's the duality of a woman who craves you but hides it. She wants you close, but she's scared of being vulnerable. She wants your attention but doesn't want to seem needy. So when another woman enters the picture, her emotional armor cracks. She'll try to patch it up quickly, but for a moment, everything she's been holding in will flicker to the surface. You don't need her to tell you how she feels. Just watch what happens when someone else has your attention. That reaction, that tension, that's not indifference. That's desire breaking its silence. Have you ever noticed how a woman can be the most confident, composed person in the room until she's around you? Suddenly, she's fumbling with her words, laughing at things that aren't even that funny, or forgetting what she was just saying. It's like her rhythm breaks, her usual confidence slips. And that, right there, is one of the clearest signs she's craving you but trying to hide it. You see, most people assume nervousness is a sign of weakness or disinterest. But when a woman is emotionally pulled towards someone and trying her hardest not to show it, nervous energy takes over. Her brain is busy trying to manage her feelings, so everything else, her speech, her behavior, even her coordination, gets a little shaky. That's not a lack of confidence. That's attraction trying not to explode. When a woman craves you in secret, just being around you makes her overthink every little move. She suddenly becomes hyper aware of how she's sitting, how she looks, how she sounds. She might trip over her words, stumble through a sentence, or start talking too fast. Not because she's socially awkward, but because her emotions are running ahead of her logic. And she's trying desperately to keep it all under wrap. You might see her glance at her phone a little too often, not because she's bored, but because she doesn't know where to look. You might notice she fidgets with her fingers, taps her leg, or adjusts her clothes more than usual. Those tiny unconscious gestures aren't for show. That's her body trying to manage the intensity she's feeling inside. And the most telling part? She probably doesn't act that way around anyone else. With others, she's relaxed, poised, even flirty. But with you, she's different. There's a tension, a sense that she's holding something back while trying to appear unaffected. That change in her energy is not an accident. It's not your imagination. It's a sign that you're affecting her more than she wants you to know. Sometimes in the middle of a conversation, you'll catch her losing her train of thought. She might start to say something, then pull back or switch topics. That hesitation is often her mind trying to filter her words, worried she might accidentally reveal too much. She wants to stay in control, but you make that hard. And that's exactly how you know she's craving you, because she's not in control of the way you make her feel. There's also this nervous laughter, the kind that shows up even when you haven't said anything particularly funny. It's her trying to ease the emotional tension, trying to fill the space between you with something light, something safe. But underneath that smile, her emotions are stirred up. So when you notice a woman who's usually calm suddenly seem a little flustered around you, don't dismiss it. That's not just nerves. It's chemistry trying to stay hidden. And the more she tries to play it cool, the more obvious it becomes. Because no matter how good she is at pretending, her nervous energy will always reveal the truth she's too afraid to say out loud.